Winner bracket semifinal. We are in the Underdog Cup, everybody. Battlefield of Eternity is our first map, best of 3 series between Frische Fische against Sloth Sanctuary. So this is what we have come to. Teams literally naming themselves after tongue twisters to screw with the poor casters over here. Sad, sad state of affair. Now, Underdog Cup, once again, we got a draft rule here. Every single hero can only be played once. It's a short tournament. We're going to focus on the amateur scene a little bit. We just finished the Eternal Conflict, and our next big tournament is going to be Meta Madness, which starts in roughly 2 weeks. And we're going to have lots of top-level play there. The Underdog Cup focuses on Division 4 and Division 5 of HeroesLounge.gg, the biggest amateur scene in Europe. Prize money is put up by me, just a little bit, pizza money to make sure, you know, that the teams have a bit of an incentive. And for all of the guys here, it's obviously a chance to show off their skills a little bit, to just show off their gameplay, and also to dip their toe in the water of playing in a competitive environment and a tournament environment here. And it's kind of fun to sometimes see what's happening, especially with the new patch now, on the lower level of play. Now, there's a lot of preference picks for all of these players in general. Their hero pools aren't that deep, so the rule of a hero not being playable throughout the entire series already has an impact. I mean, we've even seen Murky in one of the games already, so it should be a fun one. Battlefield of Eternity kicks us off in our match. There is a loser's bracket, by the way, so whichever team wins will move on to the winner bracket final, but the loser has still a chance to go through the lower bracket. And yeah, time will tell. For now, we get Garrosh and Hanzo banned out, so some immortal damage is already gone. And the big question, of course, if we're now seeing big W here over from the blue team again. Both of the teams had actually a pretty good run in their previous match. Vala the first pick, and then Insta Liming and ETC. And if you watch the previous matches, you actually know that the same ban pattern or the pick pattern that we're currently seeing from Sloth Sanctuary was already used previously. They really like to open with this into Battlefield of Eternity from the looks of it. Back then, they played Jimmy and they also played Artanis for extra damage against the Immortal. So that's something where we still have to see what exactly they are gonna do here. But we got Jojo, we got Rhaegar, and I'm pretty curious what the ban is going to be for the blue team, because they must have watched the previous series. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see them ban out Jimmy, for example. If they really think that what the Sanctuary is doing here is just going for the exact same draft, they could ban Jimmy and just say like, hey, we know you want this guy. We know it's a preference pick for you, so we're going to ban him out. And yeah. But could obviously also ban the side lane out, just go for meta bans too. I would assume though that they watched the previous series. They get rid of Anduin. Was, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, that was also played on Battlefield of Eternity by the red team in their previous match, I think. So, Jimmy or no Jimmy, Artanis or no Artanis. What are they gonna do here? That's what they played before. That's what they feel comfortable with. We might see it again. We get Brightwing as the Anduin replacement. And there's Artanis. So now still the option to go for Jimmy at the end of the draft. But for the blue team, what are we going to get here? Right now, we have with Vala a fantastic damage dealer against the Immortal. So that's a given. You need your side laner still. You want some extra damage on top of that. Or you go for the triple front line. Then obviously you have plenty of choices that can also dish some damage out. Ooh, mixed in with some more. Alright. And do we get another melee? Yep, we get Thrall. Likely Thrall in the format, which could be another Trash Lightning pick in this tournament. We're already at 1. Interestingly enough on Infernal Shrines, which kind of worked, kind of didn't. But on Battlefield of Eternity, if you have Thrall in the format, that's a completely different story. During the Immortal phase, there's also a much easier time for you to get your stacks together. But that leaves us with the final pick. And we get Arthas this time. Keep in mind, Arthas was banned last time. So now we have a triple frontline for them too. A pretty interesting one at that. And that leads us into game number 1, Battlefield of Eternity between Fischers Fritz and Sloth Sanctuary. So, Fischers Fritz fished Frische Fische in blue on the left with not Zap on Joanna. We got Pedro on Thrall, Mixon is playing Samuro, Oleander on Rega, and Kati is playing Vala for the blue team. Quick note, by the way, Pedro played main tank for them in the previous series and is now on the side lane, whereas not Zap, who wasn't here at the time, he is now on his tank. So I talked in their previous match that they played with a sub player, and obviously there was some role swapping because of that from the looks of it. Over on the right side, the Sanctuary with the Salt's Decay on Liming, Morpheus on ETC, Lizzie Ryan on Brightwing, we got Rabbit on Atanis, and Paradox is playing Arthurs. So, let's get this party started over here, and it's going to be interesting also with Zap being the main tank for the team. You could tell that Pedro had some issues occasionally as the main tank. Some of those situations were a little bit iffy from his side. So right now, Kati with a chance to get a couple of arrow stacks together. It's all, of course, for the objective that is coming up next. And yeah, we'll see how many she can work in before this starts up. That one hit a minion first, so yeah, that one doesn't count. Sometimes it pays off to just be a little bit slower. But definitely ready for another great game here. Now, this is, as I said before, the winner bracket semifinals, so the victor will move on to the winner bracket final, and the loser can make a run through the lower part of the bracket and try and get a rematch eventually. But yeah, Kati is having some trouble working her arrows in. That's a couple that she's thrown out so far, and they are mostly connecting with minions, so that definitely slows down the progress a little bit. Thrall low and gone. First blood right there. The Sanctuary able to lock in the first kill of their game. Thrall is gone. Brightwing helping out here. Samuro, Mixon, he's sitting all the way up at the top lane and doing some work against Atanis, but guess that the bottom camp goes over to the red team. So they start off with the lead here. A little bit of damage on the wall, but not too much. Nobody pushed in together with it and triggered the Inspire buff. Thrall, by the way, with Rolling Thunder. I actually was thinking that he could go into Trash Lightning, given that he's part of the 4-man, but he decided to just go into the standard talent here with himself. Rega also with Colossal Totem on level 1. More hits coming here from Kati. And she's sitting at 2 stacks still. So they're dominating that lane right now, but that's a decent move from the red team, not giving them a lot of chances to get the stacks going. And with a rotation towards the top, Mixon is all alone here. They're currently pinging him. I was like, dude, you got this. 2v1, make it happen. But against Arthurs and Atanis, there's just no way that Samuro takes that camp. So, yeah, ain't happening. We have, again, this one taken early. I am not a fan of the timing here. We had this in one of the previous games too. And they're just taking the Shaman camp way too early. The problem is that once that it's on lane, it can easily be defeated by the opponent before the objective is even up. So if the red team moves in and takes the Shaman out, then there's no pressure during the objective phase against the Sloths. And all the way up at the top, this one comes in a bit later. So now if you deal with this, you lose time on the Immortal, and that's the big problem. So taking this early doesn't really help. This, on the other hand, helps a lot. Not only stacks for Vala, but also getting the kill, and Trash Tannis is gone. The liability eliminated again. Red team is a bit faster when it comes to the push. Jojo's now attempting to defend. Should at least use the shield clear here, and does so. Allows Vala to try and catch up for the team. And, well, she doesn't have her Monster Hunter yet, but still, the double arrow still hurts. Samuro has also still taken more control over the top lane with one with the wind now. Can push for structures a bit. They're defending mainly. Big attack coming from the red team. The defense not doing too much. Samuro just saying hi, but this is obviously going to be a first Immortal in the hands of the red team as they're grabbing it with roughly a 50% shield. So, no lead in experience yet. It's a kill for a kill that we see so far. We got on level 4 dominance for Liming. So going through the heals here. Not going into an orb talent. Not going into Triumvirate. So also fine. They're defending top side. 7 would be really nice right now for the defense at least. But they don't have that for Vala. So yeah, what we're getting instead is just a stun against her. Slowing the damage against the Immortal down even further. The shield is gone though, so the Immortal switches from ranged into melee mode. And there's the talent a little bit early for Sloth Sanctuary. So they get the wall, and they might be able to get a little bit more here. Vala still with opportunities to get more stacks as the entire fight breaks out. Yes, obviously with a level 4 talent, the chance to work a few more of those in. But we're down 2-5 still, so... yeah. Thrall with the Death Coil build, obviously not necessarily the main tank for the team, that's Morpheus, and therefore more in a bruiser style, but it also means that he has a lot more survivability with the talents that he's taken right now. So the extra heal and the extra sustain is also relieving some of the pressure from the healer. Again, the attack down here, nice, Mixin coming in, Vala though needs to be careful, and Li Ming is firing away straight into the choke point with one combo after another. But the blue team is able to steal the camp, so they're taking the mercenaries, they're grabbing them. They take him quickly. Vala with some additional stacks. Yeah, dodging out on the swap attempt from Artanis. But there's ETC, and the slide is missing too. 7 stacks now on the arrows. Again, she has a level 7 talent, so this is going to make things a lot easier in the next objective. But you still want to try and get a few more stacks in as you can. Nice, gets one here. Could maybe even work another one. ETC, perfect target. Jojo is gone. Well, at least Vala was able to get something out of it too. So, for now, we have Samuro still sitting tight at the top, and he's been able to take another camp. This was only 3 heroes down at the bottom of the map, with Thrall helping out his buddy. So, the double at the top did okay. Down at the bottom of the map, on the other hand, that's where we have now Carti heading back. Mana is obviously always a little bit of an issue when you're playing this particular build with Vala. Yeah, Mixin! He might actually be able to escape. No, they're really coming in from all angles now. And that's a bit too much. Mixin was trying to escape, could not quite get out, and this is all happening around the Immortal. And again, I absolutely hate when stuff like this happens. Vala needs to be here when the Immortal spawns, and now she got 1 arrow in, and that is it. They were on the camp too late. In the first rotation, they were on the camp too early. It gets defeated easily, and then they don't get value out of it during the objective. And then in the second rotation, they were too late, meaning Vala couldn't instantly start with her arrows. She is... Sorry, cough. She's the main tool that they have here, and they need to work their damage in. So missing hits like this one is tough. Level 10 abilities are now also available. The sloths are just a little bit better right now. They're a bit cleaner in the way that they're rotating and making their plays. The timing around the objective is just better, and it leads to them taking another Immortal. It's not really a problem that they take the Immortal in and of itself. It's a problem that they are taking it with such a big lead. So this is a huge advantage. If you have Vala on your team, you need to be able to do a bit more damage. If you lose the Immortals, fine, but this is way too big of a shield. So Fischer's Fritz not as smooth as they need to be here. Also adjustments made by Samuro going into Bladestorm as his level 10 talent. The red team obviously has to still do some damage here. They need to try and figure out, okay, what can we actually pull off? If Thrall dies, then a lot more than with him staying alive. They want him, and they're not quite getting him. But nobody's defending against the Immortal right now either. Okay, so now they're starting to move back past the gate, and Vala has worked some arrows in on the way. So that definitely helps. Ancestral is out. Wall basically destroyed, and they could get more than that wall. That shield is still active, not for long, but that should be a key fort, honestly. There's the Morsh interrupt, but they got the hit on McCarthy, and she survives with 10 HP. Insane, and then Arthas takes her down regardless. She actually made it with 10 hit points and was saved by Rhaegar, but look at that insane chase that we're getting here. So 4 kills to 1. Samuro is just soloing the top lane right now, trying to get the fort, and you know what? He might be able to get at least some work done here. The problem is that the rest of your team has lost the fort at the bottom of the map, and they even lost a hero and part of the wall. So Arthas is up top now, making sure that they're not losing too much. But the red team is just doing way better at this point. They're doing great. And what I like specifically is just all the timings. They're at the Immortal when they need to be. They go for the camps when they need to be. They're there, and it's just working. The blue team just needs to tighten things up a bit if they want to have a real shot at turning this map around. They're not without their chances here. Vala has 22,000 damage. She has 16 stacks. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. So if you work that in during the next Immortal phase, you can do a lot here. The team can shield the Immortal a bit. And again, even if you don't win it, at least give yourself a chance to defend properly. But here comes the push at the top. Samuro is all alone, gets insta-polied as he's trying to make a play. And they're getting very aggressive. Nice Sundering, but Thrall might be a bit too deep. Gets targeted, and so does Mixon, and he's the one that falls first. Seems like they want to see a trade in structures. Blue team is pushing at the bottom of the map and takes the fort out, whereas the red team does it up at the top. Still structurally an advantage for the Sanctuary, though. So, Immortal is coming back up. Samuro will be back in time. They're pushing even further, but yeah, this is going to put an end to it. So now the question, are they still going to go for the camp? Because there's 15 seconds left, and they're all pinging it, so they're going to try and make a play for it. Might end up with them being a little bit late on the objective. Samuro could have moved in. Need Li Ming here too. Level 13 on both sides, so even talents. And yeah, they're slightly late on this. And this actually gives Vala a chance to now work the arrows in. So they grab it. They have to defend here first. Vala, arrow after another. Oh, the mosh pit and the Immortal stun. Rhaegar, no chance. He got absolutely locked down here by a stun, mosh pit, and then the Immortal stun. Jojo at least completes a level 4 talent. That's massive, but they're losing too many heroes in the process. Vala is now gone. They're losing Thrall, who gets kicked into oblivion here. Jojo has died too. That only leaves Samuro, and the red team is just absolutely slaughtering them. I mean, these guys are on a tear. They're on a warpath. 9 kills to 1. As they are wrecking everything in sight. That's a 1.5 level lead now. Easy halftime show victory. Samuro was the only one able to escape, but 22,000 damage for Li Ming. If you compare that to what we're seeing from the blue team, it's nothing. Trailing Thrall, trailing Vala, but they are the ones getting the kills here, and they are the ones winning objective after objective. Another Immortal now in the hands of the Sanctuary. And it's once again a pretty decent shield. It's going to move towards the top. And they're going to try... I mean, if they get level 16 with this, they can go for a keep here, potentially. So there's already one minion wave that they can deal with. Second one is coming in. 16 is going to hit. The question is just when. Is it before they're approaching the wall or just in the middle of the fight? I mean, we'll see. Passive experience gains are obviously helping too, but there it is. Even before they are moving in. 16 talents already. And this is going to make this entire defense just so much worse for the team in blue. Vala with level 13 talent, siphoning arrow for some extra sustain, but they're staying a bit away here. So she needs to try and work that shield down, but they have to be super careful that they're not exposing her too much. If she's too far at the front and they get a swap, a stun, anything, then this is even more of a disaster. The keep is likely to fall here if they're pushing for it. They can definitely make that move. So Vala is the one working the Immortal. Everybody else is trying to shield her, pushing the opponent back, trying to engage them. But the keep is now down to 50% of its HP, and there's absolutely no saving it. So keep number 1 falls 13 minutes in. Condemn from Jojo as she went in deep. They're still looking for kills. There's the swap. Vala in trouble. Sundering comes out. Jojo is already gone. They're taking Artanis down. And Vala escaped, but a big mosh pit against 3. Oh my god! That was disastrous. Rhaegar down, Thrall down as well, and this might just be game. This was huge. They all moved in, and ETC said, thank you very much, I got this, boys. And all of a sudden, it's 12 kills to 2, and they go for the core. This is it right here. Sloth Sanctuary with a fantastic, fantastic game. 14 minutes in. They're about to end it. The defenders come back, but I don't think they have what it takes here. Army gets used by Arthurs, and that's the end of it. Nicely done. The Sanctuary takes it. They take the lead in the best of 3 series here at the winner bracket semifinal on Battlefield of Eternity. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Game number 2. The Sloths did well. They did really well, actually. We're going to Infernal Shrines now. It was the choice of the red team, since blue team decided they want to have first pick, first ban. Now, the 10 heroes that were played on the last map cannot be played again. But this could get interesting, because I gotta admit, I thought this would be a little bit closer. But the red team, they went hard. They went ham. And that mosh pit towards the end by ETC was amazing. I mean, again, they clustered around him. They were looking for a kill. ETC with the perfect timing, no interrupt. Vala was moving towards the side. She couldn't even do anything. She was, before that, swapped in and then had to rotate away. So it got real awkward super quickly. And that allowed the red team to just go straight for the core. They would have probably been happy with just destroying the keep and moving back. But the opportunity presented itself and, well, they took it. So now we're going to Infernal Shrines. A little bit of a similar pattern that we saw before from the teams. Hanzo banned and Zarya also getting eliminated. But very curious what's now going to happen for the second map. And for the Sloths, it would obviously be pretty amazing if they could win this one without dropping a map. And I don't know, maybe push this straight up into game, well, into the winner bracket final. Because that's essentially what they would achieve if they take it here. It's match point after all for them. Now, with the losers bracket in play, it means that if the blue team drops out, they still have a chance to go back to the grand final with that lower bracket run. Dehaka banned out, so no global for now, at least not on the side lane. You still have Falstad and Brightwing. A couple of others that you could play too. We had some wild picks earlier. Wouldn't shock me to see one of the teams go into, you know, a bit of a crazy one. You could argue that even the Samuro pick on Battlefield of Eternity was not really just straight down the meta or anything. We see that rarely. On the top level of play, you have some players that occasionally pull that off. Sven being one of them, but yeah. So the Khaldor banned out again. We have first pick for the blue team. And they have to come up with a different strategy here. Because that last one just didn't work. And it was also, there were a couple of things. It wasn't only the team fights. I talked a bit about how some of the plays were just not really crisp enough when we're talking about the calls, the timing when they went to their shaman camp, when they went to the objective. So there were really a few problems for them that they had a tough time dealing with. Anduin and Kelthas now. I am suspicious of any man that has that much hair. Just saying. There are certain edge cases where I guess it's allowed. But Kelthas, I mean, those eyebrows alone, when I look at that portrait, like, that's... No, just no. The only thing I want to do is just, like, set them afire. That's, like, the only thing. Gul'dan and Tyrael. And Tyrael taken by Pedro right now. So, they might actually swap some things around. It seems like the two of them share responsibilities on the front line, depending on which hero gets taken. So, yeah, we'll see. Yrel banned. Oriel, not Yrel. Would have been kind of funny if you all of a sudden, you know, get some kind of Cho'Gall. I keep looking at Kelthas' portrait and that, like, a massive amount of hair over there. That's just, like, crazy. So, yeah. But, well, there's like, there are like these memes out there where I think it's like Instagram, Twitter, whatever, where they have like, where they take pictures of people from behind and they say like woman or metalhead. If you're at a festival like this, if you're like into that particular style, that's the only reason why you can have hair like that as a guy. And yes, we're hitting stereotypes. Yeah, look at me, okay? So, yeah, somebody's gonna get triggered by that. Blaze and Nubarak. Finally, we get a Blaze pick. I already thought these guys forgot that he existed. Like, finally, Blaze and Nubarak. There we go. And Nubarak engage. Blaze stun with the jet propulsion. Gravity lamps follow up. Light bomb. I mean, they got them all here. But after Pedro now went into Tyrael, I want to see what else they're going to do. Is that going to be a triple front line? Is there going to be a follow-up? Is it just going to be Gul'dan rampaging away on the shrine? Or where's the second damage source? LILI! Okay. Tychus LILI. Did they lose a bet that I don't know about? Is there like some bounties that nobody told me? We get a LILI pick? Okay. Make it make sense! I mean, Oleander, it's up to you now to prove it to me. Not something I anticipated. Kelthas and Nazebo! Didn't see that coming either. Game number 2, Infernal Shrines, everybody. Let's jump straight in and let's see if the Sloths can move on to the next round or if we're going to game number 3 in this series. Game number 2. Well, a bit of a moment of truth here for the blue team. And not Zap on Hogger. We got Mixon on Tychus, Kati with Gul'dan, Pedro is playing Tyrael, and then we got Oleander on LILI. Free drinks! That's my favorite kind of drinks. Free drinks are amazing. Over on the... Oh, I have to tell you guys something. Over on the right side, we got Rabbit on Azebo. We got Morpheus on Anubarak, Paradox on Blaze, Lizzie Ryan on Anduin, and Zoltz DK on Kelthas. 5 years ago, I went on a pretty big bike ride with a couple of buddies. We did 200 kilometers in a day, rode along the coast down towards Denia, a little bit farther. And on the way back, it was in the middle of August. It was a really dumb idea because in August in Spain it's obviously like mega hot. But it was a cool ride, it was a lot of fun. But on the way back, one of our guys, he started to have cramps a little bit, he ran out of water. And so we stopped randomly at the first bar that we saw. And we just asked the guy for water and he gave it to us. And then we got talking. And he started giving us food, he gave us meat, like all for free. It was insane, like insanely good meat, and it was super fun, and it was pretty cool. So I promised myself that at some point I would go back and just, go there properly and get food and just like check all of that out. And I did it with a friend just a couple of days ago, and it was his son there that basically like served us, and it was super fun and great food. It was awesome. And then at the end... that's talking about the end. It is the end for Nazebo. So that's the first blood right there. So then at the end, we basically paid, and then the guy asked me, like, hey, do you want to have a shot? Do you want to have a drink? And I was like, yeah, sure. So free drinks triggered that kind of in my head. And he gave me some rum with honey from Granada. Oh my god. Insane. I have to find out where exactly I can buy that here, because that was incredible. It was super smooth. I'm a big fan of rum anyways, and the combo with honey was awesome. Just to enjoy it a little bit. So that was brilliant. Like, I'm a huge fan. It's like one of those things, like that bar in the first place, the first encounter with his dad and now with him, it was just awesome. And there was some amazing stuff. So yeah, I have to make sure that I don't forget checking that out. So yeah, free drinks, my favorite kind of drinks. And in this case, was the first time free food, at least a little bit, and then free drinks. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening over here in Spain. I'm really a fan, at least the area where I live. Well, in the game, we already had one problem for Nazebo, and it was a severe lack of hit points, as pointed out earlier. He went into a spider build, by the way. So he's starting to stack this up slowly. Good start for the blue team. For the blue team in their attempt to in their attempt to win this one. Gets the shield from the defense mechanic here, but Rabbit, you got to be careful. If you want to stack this, then you got to be cautious. Can't die too much. We get a little bit of Saki from Gul'dan here with a health funnel as he's going to try and drain everyone. 9 stacks on Tyrael. Master Assassin for the passive, obviously, right there. And this is time for the first objective. So, there's the big pong happening for Fischer's Fritze. Now, the entire build and also the pick into into Nazebo in particular is obviously designed more so for the late game than anything else, but they already need to make at least a bit of a dent here. They have their camp pushing in the top lane, by the way, so once more, their camp timings are way better than what we're seeing from the blue team, but they're falling massively behind on the objective, and that's with the Tigers that doesn't even have Odin yet. So, yeah, Morpho is a little bit too trigger happy as he dives in on this, and I guess this is going to be a freebie. Free Punisher for the blue team. Yep. Arcane Punisher too. Top side did not lose a lot of hit points. I mean, the wall got a bit damaged, but not too much. Nazebo is now back down to the bottom of the map and is working the numbers up slightly. One more wave might have been nice, but he's needed for the defense in the middle. 40 stacks for now, so if Nazeebo can keep this up, it's still going to work out for them. Punisher gets attacked and slowly obliterated, so it's kind of working. I mean, they're not losing too much. They lose the wall, but I don't think they're going to take any real damage on the fort itself. But here comes the fight. Blaze is still at the top, and Nazeebo... Rabbit, careful. Rabbit is that hyperactive guy that has the high APM the entire time. This time he's actually starting to relax a little bit. Maybe the caffeine is wearing off. He's at 218 now. It's more so Blaze that has a pretty itchy trigger finger here. Yeah. Paradox at the top, like, he's hammering the keyboard at this point. Like, he is up at it. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, yeah, the rotation still continues with Nazeebo doing what Nazeebo does. Getting some spiders in and trying to get some stacks. All the frogs unite as well. But 50 stacks, my friends, and not so much on the level 1. I mean, the spider build is more or less completed. Not quite, but he has at least the first 3 talents taken. But when it comes to stacks on level 1, not really a whole lot. Needs to follow up on, well, first of all, some hits from Anubarak with stuns, maybe Blaze. Oh, yeah, talking Blaze! Now we're talking! Those were some pretty nice hits. Kind of a shame that there was nobody around to dish out the damage. Then again, they at least took the camp. So they were able to do that. But, well, either way, we now have still the move towards the middle from the red team. I mean, again, the MO is the same. You move with Nazeebo from one lane to another. You're trying to get some stacks for him, at least for the baseline. Work that in slowly. Full spider build, not quite sure if that was really needed. I probably would have preferred something else for him if they really try to get him into a position where he can serve the team in the late game. But it's also going to be a bit of a struggle. It's not like he's getting super quick stacks together on this. The rotation is definitely helping, but a lot of the minions oftentimes blown to pieces even before he makes a move. They're doing well on experience. Haven't gotten a kill yet. We haven't seen that many team fights either way. Damage output is reflecting that too. Tigers is the highest with 12,000, but I mean, look at the top damage for the red team. It's not like we got a lot over here. We have 6,000, 7,000 for Blaze, and that's pretty much it. So, well, that's said and done. By the way, we have a bit of an outlier. I was looking at Rabbit again because he was the outlier in the previous series. But I think the only thing... LILI is getting played as LILI gets played in Quick Match and everywhere else. You put a weight on your Q button and then you just right click with the mouse and you just like la 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 through the game. That's basically what we're seeing here. 56 average APM is absolutely incredible. So yeah, LILI is doing LILI things at this point. Oleander is having a fun one. Oleander's just like running around, la 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 la. Blaze, on the other hand, he doesn't have that much fun. Yeah, he goes down, gets obliterated again. Well, no, for the first time. But that's also horrible timing for that death to happen. It's essentially another free Punisher for Fischer's Fritz. And for them, obviously, this is also now a frozen Punisher. That makes the problem worse. We have at the bottom of the map Rabbit at least getting 3 stacks as he goes from lane to lane, so that's the good news. Helps them also to get some extra experience. So not everything is bad, but they still need to somehow be able to defend. It's kind of funny actually. I expected that after Nazeebo appears on lane that somebody from the blue team would move down, and nobody has. So they're losing experience here. I actually think this is a pretty... I don't like what they're doing. They are winning the objective anyways. So you got the objective. There's no real reason for you to lose more. Nazeebo also could have tried to take the wall here. You're already here. You have your minion wave. Just attack the wall, trigger the Inspire buff, and do your thing. Like, that would have been something that Nazeebo could have definitely done to get a bit... something structurally for the team out of the entire situation here. But, yeah, at the top they're defending. I think even here they will be able to hold... Well, can they hold the fort? I'm actually not so sure. It's a frozen Punisher after all, so that's not a given. Both teams now with level 10 abilities. Nazeebo has capitalized on the consistent rotation between the lanes. So by now we have 105 stacks. And, yep, There we go. Get those quick hits in. Anduin is gone. LILI with the ult. Gets cocooned after a short time. But that fort is likely gone. Sanctification. Nazeebo is now also with them and has used his ult and is starting to zone them away a bit. But the blue team is taking full control and will claim that fort. So yes, they are taking that out. 3 kills, 2-0. Way better for the blue team now than what we've seen previously. But Nazeebo, thanks to the rotations between the lanes while the objective was up, is now in a position where he can actually get his quest completed. So that's the good news. I mean, previously it was a bit iffy, now it's a bit better. And honestly, they need him. Because they're losing way too much ground. If you're taking a closer look at the kills, it's 4 kills to 0. And with the Nubarak getting killed here, it's again a numbers disadvantage for them. Nazeebo rotating earlier helped them a bit to get at least closer in XP. Not to fall too far behind. I mean, you can take a look here. Minion experience is in the hands of the blue team for that very reason. But all in all, the situation is, of course, still a bit worrisome. They're losing a bit too much ground. They haven't lost too many structures yet. But they have to be careful on what else they're going to do. Because, yes, it can get tricky. When you're starting to lose too many of your structures, then all of a sudden, you know, you're going to be in a disaster area. For now, it's half a level. That's bridgeable. And as I said previously, you're looking over at Nazeebo is at 143 stacks. They make it to 20. They're going to get Vile Infection for him. Then you still have to win the team fights, of course. But it's the first step into the right direction. The problem that I have is simply that I'm not sure what they're going to do around the objective. Because at some point they have to put up a fight. And you can't just give them like one Punisher after another. That's just not how that works. So this could be problematic. I mean, again, we'll see. For now, we have decent stacks for Nazeebo. His level 1 still, not really all that great. At least Kalthus is done from earlier and has his thing. Whereas Anduin is just yapping the entire time. The Alliance is... I think I'm getting intentionally triggered right now. That's intentional, right? Somebody is toying with me here. That is not a voice line that just randomly activates 5 times in a row. This reminds me of the Chugga Chugga times. Chugga Chugga was funny. Anduin being a little whiny and self-important, that's a completely different thing. The light should bring... You should shut the fuck up. That's what you should do. So, well, there's level 16 on both sides. Somebody's having way too much fun with this. 21,000 damage now for Kalthus, and well, this is where I want to see some action. Okay, so let's see what they can do here. Spider build is basically done. We're also getting on top of that Fury of the Sunwell. Oh, can they get a kill here? Tigers! There's the ult from Nazeebo. They're getting some damage in, but not enough. Basically, everybody went pirate and popped their ult with very few exceptions, Tyrael being one of them. But they get Gul'dan. Gul'dan is eliminated, so Gul'dan is gone. And to add to that, Odin is gone too. So for the first time in this game, the red team has actually a presence on the shrine and might be able to get themselves something here. Oh, yes, there it is. The second kill. They get the second kill, and this should net them the objective. And by the way, to make matters a bit worse for the blue team, Nazeebo has now plenty of stacks, so he's already past the threshold that he needs for his level 20 talent. So he's in a great spot, and it just continues right here. So great for Nazeebo, and now just the question of how much damage they can do with it. But even just getting forward in experience is already a massive, massive advantage right now. Get Nazeebo closer to level 20, don't fall too far behind. Top side gets pushed and now defended by Blaze after Hogger has rotated up and done some work there. Down at the bottom of the map though, the blue team is already starting to retreat. They have to fall back here. And that's the fort. And maybe even a kill. If they can follow up, LILI! She looked for adventure and she found death. LILI's gone. 3 kills that they got. And all of a sudden, we're not only talking about fort, we're talking about keep wall destroyed and maybe the keep itself. At least Tychus has his ult back up, so now they have Odin to defend. But look how much damage is being done at that thing. They're getting that keep. They're actually getting that keep. Nazeebo needs his abilities back, and once that he just fires away, he can just wreck this thing. Goes for Tyrael and nearly completes his level 1 quest, but that's the keep gone. So now we have 18 versus 18, the keep eliminated. Rabbit is at nearly 200 stacks on the baseline, is about to complete his level 1 too. They're looking way better now. This was a huge concern. The Sanctuary, they were in trouble. Fischer's Fritz took 2 objectives in a row. They looked extremely powerful taking the 2 and never really contested. They obliterated the fort at the top, and it really felt like Nazeebo might not have the time to get into the position he needs to be in order to leverage his level 20, which is one of the main reasons why you pick him in the first place. So what we're now getting instead is a red team that starts to seriously fight back and do some work on this. So good for them. And of course, still the question of what will the opponent's team now do in order to bring this one back. Because they need, at a minimum, they need a couple of kills, right? So they're trying to find positions where they can get those. Currently, it's also about getting closer to level 20, especially for the red team. If they even get a talent advantage here around that, I mean, that would pretty much be the dream. So, yeah, so far they're looking pretty good here. We'll see. I mean, right now it's still about the camps that they're taking. So they're claiming the next one here. 213 stacks now for Nazeebo. Nice rotation towards the bottom by the blue team to get a free fort. Free forts are the best forts. Those are the good ones. But, well, by now we have level 20. And this should give us Vile Infection. Or I'm going to go for a bit of a Baby Rage. Flamethrower is in. And, well, there we have it. So, Vile Infection time. This is where the damage really starts to skyrocket for Nazeebo. And we can already take a look at it right now as he claims it. It's not only the hero damage. His siege damage is obviously going to increase too. So this is pretty big. But they're still exchanging forts. And the blue team now got 2 forts for 1. So they traded really well here. That was a fantastic trade for them. But with a double shaman camp at the top, we're now having the Sanctuary push for the next keep, or at least the keep wall. 20 is not quite ready yet for the blue team. But I can tell you who's ready, and that's the Sanctuary. So there we have level 20 talent on both sides. So there's no advantage around this any longer. But let's see how much they can poke and if they are willing to, well, turn this around, for example. Currently, they're not. They're just going for the next objective. Shrine is activating in a second. Nubarak is going to try and intercept anybody moving through the top. Yeah, but they're moving down here. Initial lead already taken. Keep also Odin in mind, of course. Cocoon could be used. Also when LILI starts to use her own ult. She upgraded, of course. Horrify and a great pull. Ice block attempt there. Good pull. Paradox is jutting out. And here comes the ult from Rabbit. But he gets attacked as well. LILI with the ult. LILI comes in with the ult. And Nazeebo commits suicide. Seriously. Nazeebo just committed honorable Sudoku. He has his level 20. And then just decided that life is not worth living. Look at this. Just sits there frozen, gets attacked by Tychus, and if you eat the first shot or two, I get it. But then stays way too long and just gets murdered. I'm not quite sure if they told him, dude, you're gonna get a heal, and then it never came. But, yeah, that's just wild. So that's a free objective now for the blue team, which is just crazy to me. Nazeebo will be back in 28 seconds. There's catapults moving through the top, by the way, now. We have Hogger defending at the bottom of the map, and, well, good for him, because this would have threatened the core directly. And in the middle, the Punisher push is now slowly moving in. With Nazeebo missing for another 10. So, yeah, here we go. This is where he starts to get... I mean, it's a little bit wild to me that the blue team is in such a good spot right now. And got the entire thing basically for free. So Nazeebo is back. Riding on his little silver surfboard. And now that he's here, the defense should be much, much easier. Nubarak makes it out. Got also the defense shield from the keep. But the keep is not going to fall here. Nice damage from the spiders, though. And Tyrael is dead. But LILI goes for the ult to save Tyrael. That's how dire the situation was here. It's not the biggest cooldown, so that works. By the way, double catapult, now 20 minutes in at the top, and that one starts hurting. So Hogga is the one to try and deal with it, but it already costs them around 50% of its HP. Maybe a little bit more even. What a wild game, honestly. It's like, a couple of mistakes obviously made, but that's one of the reasons, of course, why this is also quite fun and enjoyable. But yeah, they came in and decided that they want to give the opponent a chance. I actually like this, you know, the sportsmanship that we're seeing here. But okay, let's go. Nazeebo is increasing his damage slowly, steadily with every single hit that connects here. But they are sieging up on the fort now. Yeah, they need to tee things up a little bit with one of the stuns. So there's already a wall. Hogga with a shockwave. Yep. Nazeebo with some... Look how Nazeebo's damage is just spiking. He just got 6,000 damage like it's nothing. Once again, the ult here from LILI, keeping them alive. Nazeebo could throw a couple of spiders out. Yeah, gets the wall. Light bomb. Gets one stun in. The pull on Blaze. Horrify. And Blaze is dead. Blaze is gone. LILI gets the kill. And now they can try and go for that keep again. Nazeebo got 10,000 damage in that last fight, but again, you need to do a bit more than that. He gets big damage out. I mean, serious numbers. The problem is you need to win the team fights. All the damage in the world doesn't really help you. Ooh, but that helps them. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, Hogga, hurry up, my friend. That's damage on the core already, and, well, it's down to 92%. So, those shots were interesting. A little bit of a long-ranged missile. But, yep, these catapults are starting to become a big, big deal. 6 kills to 3. 229 stacks now for Nazeebo, and the next objective will spawn at the bot lane. 65,000 damage for Khaldor. I mean, we've been highlighting how quickly Nazeebo increases his damage, which is still important, but let's also face it, currently he is still trailing quite a few champions. We have 62,000 for Tychus, Gul'dan only with 39,000, but then you look over, as I said before, to Khaldor, and he's currently the top damage dealer. Objective is coming up, and the red team has the camp at the top. So they have a camp, and they got the catapult. This is great. That top side, depending on how long this fight lasts, the top side keep might actually get destroyed by this push. And this is something that is going to make things very, very uncomfortable for the blue team, always assuming that this is actually going to be a longer battle. So, yeah, time will tell. For now, though, red team is trying to make a play here. Khaldor with some decent numbers. Anubara coming in from behind. Triple stun. Odin gets used. LILI with her ult. Where's the cocoon when you need it? Comes in, but it is Hogga that wants the kills, and it gets it! Nazeebo kills Hogga, but then Hogga dies too. Topside keep is about to fall. Morpheus, though, unless he gets his abilities back, nice, the stun is there, and I guess he can escape. But this is another keep that falls now. But it doesn't change the fact that the Sloth Sanctuary is now losing another objective, and this is where things are just getting so wild here. If Nazeebo survives, it's a different story, but Hogga was able to get that kill. Now we're having Anubara trying to escort that in, and oh, the grenade nearly killed him. He needs to retreat quickly. I mean, he needs to hearth, and he needs to hearth now. They're gonna attempt to defend. If you could still bait a Punisher over the wall, this would make things so much easier for them, but those days are gone. So now it's 8 kills to 4, and it is close. It's getting really close over here. Tyrael is jumping in, wants to be aggressive. Anubara is now saying hi. They can sacrifice the keep, especially at the bot lane. If they can hold it, I mean, fantastic. Nazeebo is now back, so they might be able to hold on to this. It's only 3 heroes that are attacking with it. Jet propulsion! Bunker is there. Bunker's up in the back. Yeah, they go for Gul'dan, and he's gone. Gul'dan is dead, and then Anduin does what he does best and runs away from the fight. Tychus is now here too. Hogga's on his way, but they're doing okay here. They're doing okay with the defense. They have to leverage again a Zebra as best as they can. If they can hold on to the keep, then it's more pressure against Fischer's Fritz. The problem for the blue team is just simply that as they don't take structures out, and as we are now getting deeper and deeper into this game, the catapults they hurt, and we already saw them lose the top side keep. So now you have 2 keeps that are missing, and your opponent is just doing way too much damage with these catapults. So this could be a winion game where you just win through minions alone. Nazebo is now at 50,000 damage against the 80,000 that we're getting from Khaldor. I mean, he's catching up. He's just catching up slowly. But ever since he picked his talent, he got, I think, nearly 30,000 damage now. So, the team fights are still very, very dicey for the blue team. I mean, they really are. They need to play this a little bit closer to home. They can play slower fights. Nazebo is working around abilities. You need to play around those cooldowns a little bit and also shield him. Nazebo is the one that really needs to survive. If that is a thing, then they can do a lot here. For the blue team, it's more so about trying to take him out as quickly as they can. And of course, maintaining control over the side lanes, which in and of itself is going to be tough at times. It's kind of funny, by the way, also that we still have a fort in the middle. This is also the lane where we're going to see the next objective, so this is a bit awkward for the red team, because if they don't take this fort out, then there's going to be a fountain available for Fischer's Fritz. The one thing they're probably worried about the most is a good Horrify from Khaldor and Gul'dan. If not for that, they could push a little bit farther towards the front with Nazebo and try and get just some spiders and some toads connected. That would annihilate that fort very, very quickly. 70 stacks, by the way, for Tyrael. They're mainly playing around the long range that we're getting from Khaldor. But the blue team is trying to hold this. So they're pushing forward now. And once that they're pushing too far forward, it just means that they're taking damage here. Spiders are missing. That's a bit awkward. And yeah, there's a Horrify and the quick flip. Anubra, can he get out? They got everything here. They pulled all their ults. Hogga is ping-ponging like a madman. If they can get away from this, this would be massive for the red team. The blue team needs kills. And they get the crybaby. Anduin is dead. And Nubrak is dead too. I don't even know why they started to disengage. All they had to do was get away from this. Just get away from the fight. LILI's ult is off. Sanctification. Then you have also Tychus without Odin. That was the play. That was the dream right there. Here comes the flank. Gets a jet propulsion in. Yeah, he tries to get the kill on Gul'dan and he gets it. Gul'dan is gone. Nice. And guys, catapults on the core, and these bastards hit hard. They just need to stop them from hearthing. Oh, well, Tychus is already back. But look at how much is lost here. That is 50% on the core. 50%. They're taking the camp here, and it's just wild. If they would have stopped them from hearthing, the game would have ended right there. But now the problem is that the blue team is going to try and get the objective in the middle, and then they're going to try to end the game with it. That's basically the play that they're going for. The keep is going to fall 100%. Tychus will have to sit back. Taking this camp helps them, of course, to push the top lane even further. So there's still a chance that minions decide the game, and it's such a wild one. It's an absolutely crazy series here. They're trying to see if they can get a kill. Hogga still pogging around. Gul'dan isn't back. Tychus is on the move, and he has Odin. If they can get a kill, great, but they won't be able to win the objective. So they have to be very careful on what they decide to do here. Cocoon is already out. Hogga! He's dead! No! They take the Punisher, but Hogga is gone. They're really low, though. Tyrael is also getting attacked. They're pushing into Odin right now. Yeah, there's the ult from Nazebo. And can they get Mixin? No, yes, they can! Mixin is gone! Oh my god! I think they're winning it right here. The Punisher is moving through the middle, by the way. There's 3 defenders right now. Catapult's pushing from everywhere, and they just decide that they're going to go for the core here. And Gul'dan gets caught and killed. And that is game. What a map. What a final on this one. Sloth Sanctuary with a 2-0 victory in the winner bracket semi-final in an absolutely crazy Infernal Shrines game. Nicely done. GG. Well played.